Good morning, everybody. This is Adrian College Club Softball as the Bulldogs are taking on the Falcons from Bowling Green. And pitching today for Adrian College is Haley Holmes. And right now she is facing Rachel Ebert. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's in there for strike two. Holmes is a senior from Elkhart, Indiana. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Ebert. Swing and a miss, struck her out. But McClannon will have to throw to first to confirm the strikeout. Good start for Haley Holmes as she strikes out Rachel Ebert on 3 pitches. That'll bring up Kara Hake. She wears number 3. She is the catcher for the Falcons. She is a sophomore from Minooka, Illinois. As Holmes has a quick conversation with her catcher, McClannon. This is game 1 of a triple-header series on a cloudy Sunday morning here in Adrian. We're at the Adrian College softball field. First pitch to Hake. That is high, ball 1. Just the start of things here at Adrian, here in game 1. Holmes gets set on the mound. It's a pretty cold morning. Here's the 1-0. Low and inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Kara Hake. One out here in the top of the first inning. Here's the 2-0 from Holmes. That's hit in the air to right. That'll go foul and out of play. As Scott was chasing after it, but ran out of room. So that'll be 2 balls and a strike on Kara Hake. Only 1 out here in the top of the first. Nobody on base for the Falcons. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Haley Holmes. High pop fly. That'll be caught by the shortstop, Elizabeth Grady, for out number 2, as Kara Hake pops out to short for out number 2. So here is Kendall Sufka, the freshman from Macomb, Michigan, as she'll take her first at-bat against Haley Holmes here in the top of the first. She'll bat with 2 outs and the base is empty. Here's the pitch. That is ball 1. Two outs here in the top of the first. Here's the 1-0 from Holmes. A grounder to short. Grady will pick it up and will throw across to first, and Scott will make the catch. 1-2-3 inning for Haley Holmes as she gets a strikeout, a pop-out, and a ground out. As we go to the bottom of the first inning, no score here at the Adrian College softball field. Bulldogs coming to bat right after this.
Welcome to Adrian College, where we believe in educating both the heart and the mind. With over 100 innovative academic programs and 10 cutting-edge institutes, you'll find a path that's right for you. Join our vibrant community of over 50 athletic teams and discover why we're recognized as a U.S. News & World Report Most Innovative Institution. Adrian College, where passion meets purpose. Your future starts here.
Bottom of the first inning now is Rachel Ebert, the sophomore from Schaumburg, Illinois, as she will be pitching for the Falcons here in Game 1 of this triple header series. My name is Forrest Vernier, your play-by-play announcer. Mason Foote is directing. So Ebert will face Elizabeth Grady, Kylie McClannon, and Courtney Robertson. The rest of the Adrian lineup: Michelle Huffman, Greer Simpson, Caitlin Fry, Haley Holmes, Brianna Scott, and Taylor Campbell. Starting off in defense for the Falcons, we have Streeter in right. In center, we have Mitchell. Clune in left. Shaver at third. Hand at shortstop. Stefan at second. Sufka at first. And Hake behind the plate. And so here come the Bulldog offense as Elizabeth Grady will lead things off. Grady is a sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky, as she'll face Ebert. So here we go, bottom of the first inning. First pitch to Grady is swung on and missed, and we're underway. Grady hits a high pop fly to the right side. That'll be caught by Stefan for out number 1. One down here in the bottom of the first inning. So here is Kylie McClannon, the freshman from Goshen, Ohio. Graduated from Goshen High School. First pitch to McClannon is high and outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Foul and out of play. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike on Kylie McClanahan. One out here in the first. And that's going to be a base hit to left field, as that'll get by Clune. McClanahan will go to second, and she'll stop there standing up as she has a 1-out double. It's the first hit of the day for the Bulldogs. So here's Courtney Robertson, the freshman from Lyons, Ohio, as she'll bat with McClanahan on second. So a single or a double could bring her home. Robertson is the right fielder for the Bulldogs as she takes the ball low and outside from Ebert. Michelle Huffman waits her turn on deck. Here's the 1-0. As you can see, McClanahan taking a good lead from second, but she'll have to go back. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and miss. That's strike 1. 2 balls and a strike on Courtney Robertson. Robertson comes in with a .349 batting average, and the runner was going but had to retreat. Now that's ball 3. Robertson has 15 hits this season. Swing and a miss. That's strike 2. Count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Courtney Robertson. Robertson this year has 4 doubles, a triple, and a home run and 10 RBIs. As she hits it in the air to left, that'll go foul and out of play. Still a full count on Courtney Robertson. Here's the pitch. That is ball 3. Robertson will be aboard on a walk. So here is Michelle Huffman, the freshman from Roseville, Michigan. She'll bat with 2 on and only 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. First pitch to her from Ebert. That's in there for a called strike. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That is high, ball 1. McClanahan at second. Robertson is at first. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's a called strike 2. So Ebert is now ahead on the count. A ball and 2 strikes. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the pitch. That's up the middle, and it's going to be bobbled by the shortstop Hand, as both runners will advance. McClanahan goes to third, Robertson goes to second, and Huffman will be aboard. So she'll have an infield single. So here is Greer Simpson, the third baseman for the Bulldogs. She'll bat with the bases loaded and only 1 out. First pitch to her, swing and a foul, out of play. Simpson is also a freshman. She is from Mount Gilead, Ohio. Simpson comes in with a .314 batting average, 16 hits, 5 doubles, and 12 RBIs, and a .412 slugging percentage, as she takes the ball low and inside from Ebert. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's ball 2. 2 balls and a strike on Greer Simpson. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Simpson hits it foul and out of play. Still only 1 out in the first inning. The bases are now loaded. Here's the 2-2 from Ebert. That's going to get away from Hake, but the runners will hold as the ball ricocheted off the backstop and rolled back to her. Full count on Simpson, 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Here's the 3-2. Simpson hits a base hit to left center field. McClanahan will come home and score. Courtney Robertson rounds third. She's going to score. And here comes Michelle Huffman, and she scores. It's a 3 RBI double for Greer Simpson. The Bulldogs take a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning. The Bulldogs come up big as they clear the bases. As Caitlin Probleski, head coach for the Bulldogs at third, was waving them on home. And so Simpson now has 15 RBIs this season. That is her 6th double. So here is Caitlin Fry, the freshman from Elsie, Michigan. First pitch to her is low and inside. Simpson at second for the Bulldogs. Still only 1 out. Here's the pitch. That's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on Caitlin Fry. Simpson at second, 1 out. Here's a 2-0. Check swing. She went around. That's strike one. Haley Holmes waits her turn on deck. Here's the 2-1. That's to right center. That's a base hit. Greer Simpson will round third base. She'll come in and score. That's an RBI single for Caitlin Fry. That is Fry's 5th RBI of the season and her 7th hit as she brings home Greer Simpson as the Bulldogs lead 4-0. So now here's Haley Holmes, the pitcher for the Bulldogs. She'll bat with a runner at first with 1 out. She takes a strike from Ebert. Here's the 0-1. Holmes will swing and miss. Haley Holmes has a 143 batting average, the 0-2. She takes a called strike 3 from Ebert. So Rachel Ebert has her first strikeout of the day as she gets Haley Holmes looking. Two outs now here in the first inning. Here's Brianna Scott. Scott has a 172 batting average. She has 10 hits this season and 3 doubles and 8 RBIs. Slugging percentage of .224. Two outs here in the first. Swing and a foul and out of play. If Scott shall reach, Taylor Campbell waits her turn on deck. Count is 0-2. Here's the pitch. Fouled again. No balls and 2 strikes on Brianna Scott, the first baseman for the Bulldogs. She is a freshman from New Boston, Huron, Michigan, as she swings and misses. So Ebert, after giving up 4 runs, strikes out Holmes and Scott to win the bottom of the first inning. So the Bulldogs take a 4-0 lead as we go to the second inning. Mason Foote and Forrest Vernier from the Adrian College softball field.
Adrian College is a private liberal arts institution known for its diverse academic programs, strong emphasis on experiential learning, vibrant campus life, and commitment to fostering a supportive community. Want to visit Adrian College for yourself? Visit our website at adrian.edu/campusvisit.
Top of the second inning now as Haley Holmes will get back to work on the mound. In the top of the first, she faced Rachel Ebert, Kara Hake, and Kendall Sufka. For the rest of the batting order for the Falcons, it'll be Charlotte Steffen, followed by Emma Hand and Lauren Shaver. All 3 of them will get a chance to bat. And if any of them reach, it'll be Kendra Kloon, then Taylor Mitchell and Caitlin Streeter. And so coming up to bat, starting things off here in the top of the second will be Charlotte Steffen. Steffen is a sophomore from Grand Rapids, Michigan, as she'll bat against Haley Holmes here in the top of the second inning. Holmes had a strikeout, a pop out, and a ground out. Had a 1-2-3 first. And Holmes got a chance to bat in the bottom of the first, but struck out to Rachel Ebert. Here's the 1-0. Here's a high fly ball into right center field. That is going to be caught by Huffman for out number 1. That was a good play out there in right center by Michelle Huffman. So 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the second. So here is Emma Hand, the shortstop for the Falcons. This Hand will take her first at bat here in game 1 of this triple header series. She hits it foul and out of play. No balls and a strike. Only 1 out here in the top of the second. Here's the 0-1 from Haley Holmes. That's outside, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. The count is 1-1. Here's the pitch. Here's a high fly ball into center field, and that will be caught by Huffman again. Back-to-back flyouts here in the top of the second. Here is Lauren Shaver. Shaver is a freshman. She'll take her first at bat in game 1 against Holmes. It is a cold, cloudy day on a Sunday morning here in Adrian. Fly ball into left. That'll go foul and out of play. Count is 0-1 on Shaver. With 2 outs here in the second. Here's the pitch from Holmes. That's high and outside. Count is even at a ball and a strike. Holmes gets set on the mound. Here's the 1-1 to Shaver. And that is ball 2 inside. Here's the 2-1. That's way outside, ball 3. So that's 3 balls and a strike on Shaver, as Holmes will have to throw a strike here. Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss. Shaver chases that one. That is strike 2. On a pitch that was a little up and out. Here's the 3-2 from Holmes. That's ball 4. So Holmes, after retiring 9 in a row, gives up a walk to Lauren Shaver. That is the first base runner of the day for the Falcons. So that'll bring up Kendra Clune. Clune is a sophomore from Coldwater, Ohio. As she fouls the first pitch she sees from Holmes. So the count is 0-1 on Clune. And if she reaches, Taylor Mitchell, the center fielder, waits her turn on deck. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's outside and low. A ball and a strike. Here's the 1-1 from Holmes. That is in there for strike 2. A runner at first. Shaver aboard on a walk. Here's the 1-2 from Holmes. That is high, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Kendra Clune. Two outs here in the top of the second. Here's the 2-2 from Holmes. On the ground to third. Simpson will pick it up, throw to first. And Clune is out at first. No runs, no hits, a walk, a runner left on first as we go to the bottom of the second inning. 4-0 Bulldogs here at the Adrian College softball field. We'll be right back after these messages.
This is the Arrington Bookstore at Adrian College, the place to get game day ready, represent your clubs and organizations, and be Bulldog proud. With a wide selection of merchandise and a smile at every visit, stop by inside the Kane Student Center to pick up your Adrian College wares and make it another great day to be a Bulldog.
Bulldogs lead 4-0 as we go to the bottom half of the second inning. And so Taylor Campbell will take her first at bat. So back in the bottom of the first inning, everyone on the Bulldogs got a chance to bat except Taylor Campbell. Taylor Campbell is a sophomore from Kendallville, Indiana. Is Rachel Ebert. Ebert struck out 2 back in the first. She'll face Campbell. Campbell takes ball 1 low. Count is 1-0. Campbell plays second base for the Bulldogs, and she also pitches. Here's the 1-0. Campbell hits it foul and out of play. So Elizabeth Grady, who popped out in the first, is waiting her turn on deck. A ball and a strike on Taylor Campbell. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses outside. Count is 2 balls and a strike on Campbell. Here's the 2-1. Campbell swings and misses. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out just yet. Here in the bottom of the second. Campbell hits it foul. So just the start of things here in the bottom of the second. The Bulldogs have a 4-0 lead. Two balls and 2 strikes on Campbell. Here's the pitch. Campbell takes strike 3. So that's 3 strikeouts for Rachel Ebert as she gets Campbell looking on a 2-2 pitch. For out number 1 here in the bottom of the second, then that'll bring up Elizabeth Grady as we're back at the top of the lineup now for the Adrian College Bulldogs. One out, first pitch to Grady. Grady is 0 for 1. She popped out back in the first. Here's the pitch. Grounder to short. That is bobbled by hand. She'll throw to first as Sufka couldn't quite get the grip as she tried to scoop the ball. So Grady will be aboard on first. So I guess that'll be a defensive error on Sufka. So here's Kylie McClanahan, who doubled in the first and scored on the 3 RBI double by Greer Simpson. First pitch to McClanahan. That's a called strike. So Grady is at first. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Courtney Robertson, who walked in the first, waits her turn on deck. On the ground to third. As Shaver will throw to second, Grady will be out at second base. Courtney Robertson will reach on a fielder's choice. Excuse me, that's McClanahan. So McClanahan will be at first on a fielder's choice. So here's Courtney Robertson. Robertson was walked in the first inning and scored on the 3-run triple by Greer Simpson as she'll bat with 2 outs. Robertson swings and misses That's strike one. Here's the 0-1 pitch. On the ground to second. And actually, that'll get by Steffen. Going to second is McClanahan. The Bulldogs will have runners at first and second with 2 outs, with Michelle Huffman coming up. Huffman singled in the first and also scored on the 3 RBI triple by Greer Simpson. So Huffman is taking her second at bat. So McClanahan is at second. Robertson is at first. First pitch to Huffman. Huffman also made 2 plays defensively back in the top of the second. She is the center fielder for the Bulldogs. No balls and a strike on Michelle Huffman. Runners at second and first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Here's the pitch. Huffman takes the ball high and outside from Ebert. Here's the pitch. That's in there for a called strike. That's in the air to right. That'll drop foul and out of play. So McClanahan reached at first on a fielder's choice and advanced to second on the single by Courtney Robertson. Still 2 outs as Ebert trying to get out of this inning. Here's the 1-2. That's outside. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Michelle Huffman. Here's the 2-2 from Ebert. Huffman hits it in the air to center. That'll be caught by Mitchell for out number 3. Bulldogs threaten but do not score as we go to the third. Still have a 4-0 lead. We'll be right back after this.
Elevate your game? At Adrian College, our athletes strive for excellence on and off the field. Get involved in over 50 student clubs and organizations where your passions meet purpose. With innovative programs and personalized learning, our academics are designed to ignite your future. Experience vibrant student life, where community and connection shape your college journey. Adrian College, where you belong. Apply today and become part of the Bulldog family.
Bulldogs lead 4-0. So we are now in the top half of the third inning of Game 1 of this triple header series of Adrian College Club Softball. So the Bulldogs coming into this game with a overall record of 5-14. As they're trying to get their first home victory of the season. They are 0-4 here at the Adrian College softball field. They are 4-7 away and 1-3 neutral. So Haley Holmes will get back to work on the mound. Holmes has only allowed 1 base runner, a walk, to Lauren Shaver. She has had 1 strikeout, 2 flyouts, a pop out, and 2 groundouts. As Holmes will face Taylor Mitchell, Caitlin Streeter, and Rachel Ebert. So Taylor Mitchell is a junior from White Lake, Michigan, graduated from Milford High School. Mitchell actually caught the last out in the bottom of the second to Rachel Huffman. And so Mitchell plays outfield. She can play center field and second base. as she takes a strike from Haley Holmes to start the top half of the third inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. An awkward swing there by Mitchell. Looked like she may have tried to bunt. Count is 0-2. Holmes doing a good job getting ahead on the count. Here's the pitch. High pop fly. It'll go foul and out of play. Count remains 0-2 on Taylor Mitchell. Caitlin Streeter waits her turn on deck. She will be next. Here's the 0-2 from Holmes. That's just a bit outside. That is ball one. Here's the 1-2 from Holmes. Mitchell hits it to the left side as Simpson was close to catching it, but it lands right in front of her in foul territory. So this at-bat will continue for at least one more pitch. Count is 1-2 strikes on Taylor Mitchell. Here's the 1-2 from Holmes. Here's a high pop fly. Simpson will try again. She still can't get it. That's twice in a row that a ball has been hit by Mitchell, popped up and landed in foul territory as Simpson tried to make the play on it, but it just landed in front of her. Now here's the 1-2. That's in the air to right center field, and that is going to be gone for a home run. Taylor Mitchell with a solo home run as the Falcons get on the board. That is the first hit and run of the day for BG. So that'll be the first run of the day and the first hit given up by Haley Holmes. That is the fourth home run of this year that Holmes has allowed. So now we're at the bottom of the lineup for the Falcons. Caitlin Streeter shows bunt. That'll be ball one. Nobody out here in the top of the third. Here's the pitch from Holmes. Outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Caitlin Streeter is a freshman from Oberlin, Ohio. Grounder to short. Grady will throw to first. And that'll be an out. As Streeter grounds out to short, that is only the first out of the third inning. As she grounds out to Elizabeth Grady. That'll bring up the pitcher, Rachel Ebert. Ebert struck out to Holmes back in the first. That has been Holmes. It's been her only strikeout of the season. Ebert takes the ball upstairs. Just one out here in the third. Here's the pitch. Ebert will swing and miss. Count is even at a ball and a strike. Here's the 1-1. In there on the outside corner for strike 2. One out here in the third. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Holmes. Swing and a miss. Ebert goes down swinging for the second time today. McClanahan will have to throw to first to complete the strikeout. That's only the second strikeout of the day for Holmes. That's the second time that she's got Ebert on strikes. So now we have 2 outs. Here in the top of the third here's Kara Hake Hake popped out back in the first as she hits a foul ball on the first pitch she sees from Holmes. If Hake shall reach, Kendall Sufka waits her turn on deck. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Holmes. That's hit in the air to center field. Going back is Huffman, and she makes the catch. But the Falcons get on the board with a solo home run by Taylor Mitchell, but Holmes does her job and gets out of the inning. So we will now go to the bottom of the third inning. It is 4-1 Bulldogs now here at the Adrian College softball field.
To become a future Bulldog and get recruited by Adrian College? Do you display characteristics of tenacity, drive, and determination? With over 50 teams on campus, there are plenty of opportunities to further both your athletic and academic career. For all recruiting inquiries, head to www.adrianbulldogs.com and click on the Recruit Me tab at the top right of your screen. Your future with the Bulldogs is closer than ever.
Bottom of the third inning, Bulldogs have a 4-1 lead. I am Forrest Frenier, your play-by-play announcer. Joining me here in the booth is your director, Mason Foote. This is game one of a triple-header series of Adrian College Club softball as the Bulldogs are taking on the Bowling Green Falcons. And Greer Simpson, who had a 3 RBI double, because remember, she hit it with the bases loaded. It scored in McClanahan, Robertson, and Huffman. She will take her second at-bat to start the bottom of the third inning. So after Simpson is Caitlin Fry, followed by Haley Holmes. So Simpson, Fry, and Holmes are guaranteed to have an at-bat here in the bottom of the third. But here's Greer Simpson. As Simpson now has 15 RBIs this year, 13, 14, and 15. Came in the bottom of the first on the 3-run triple. She takes a called strike from Rachel Ebert. Ebert has 3 strikeouts here in game one. Here's the 0-1 to Simpson. Simpson hits it in the air to center. That'll be caught by Mitchell for out number 1. So Simpson is 1 for 2 as she flies out to center field to start the bottom of the third inning. Now here's Caitlin Fry. Fry will take strike 1 on an off-speed pitch by Ebert. Holmes waits her turn on deck. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a foul. As Ebert getting ahead on the count. 0-2 on Caitlin Fry. Caitlin Fry had an RBI single in the bottom of the first that scored in Greer Simpson. That is right back to the mound. Ebert will make an easy play to Sufka. 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the third. So that'll bring up Haley Holmes. Holmes struck out back in the first inning. So Holmes is taking her second at bat as she hits a ground ball to third as Shaver reached for it, but it just went foul. And so Haley Holmes taking her second at bat. She has also pitched in this game too. And she has struck out the pitcher that she is facing, Ebert, twice. Here's the 0-2 to Holmes. Holmes hits it in the air to left. That'll drop foul and out of play. Count remains 0-2 on Haley Holmes. Two outs here in the third. Here's the 0-2 to Holmes. That is low and inside. Count is 1-2 on the Bulldog pitcher. Here's the 1-2 from Ebert. Holmes hits it to left again. It will go foul and out of play. Holmes having a pretty good at-bat here. Here in the bottom of the third inning. She has yet to be on base or have a hit in this game one. Here's the 1-2 from Ebert. Called strike three as Holmes strikes out for the second time today. So the Bulldogs go 1-2-3. Here in the bottom of the third as now we go to the fourth. Still a 4-1 lead here at the Adrian College softball field.
Hi, I'm Aubrey Morgan, the current student government president here at Adrian College. I chose Adrian College because of the campus size. Campus feels like a fun, energetic community where everyone knows each other. If you want to see what Adrian has to offer for you, you can schedule an in-person visit at adrian.edu/campus-visit.
Top of the fourth inning now as Haley Holmes will get back to work on the mound. As she only has just a pair of strikeouts today. So it's 4-1 Adrian College. It's now the top half of the fourth inning. And so for the Falcons, it'll be Kendall Sufka. Sufka grounded out back in the first. This will only be her second at-bat here in game one of this triple-header series. Holmes gets set on the mound. Here's the pitch. That's in there for a called strike. Just the start of things here in the top of the fourth. Here's the 0-1 from Haley Holmes. That is high for ball one. Nobody out just yet here in the top of the fourth. Here's the 1-1. Sufka hits it in the air to right. That'll be caught by Scott for out number one here in the top of the fourth. So Sufka is 0 for 2 here in game one as she pops out to first. So that'll bring up Charlotte Steffen. Steffen flied out in the second inning. She'll take her second at-bat against Haley Holmes. First pitch to her is outside for ball one. Bases are empty here in the fourth with one out. Here's the 1-0 from Haley Holmes. That's outside. 2 balls and no strikes on Charlotte Steffen. Emma Hand waits her turn on deck. Here's the 2-0 from Holmes. 3-0. As Holmes is behind on the count, struggling a little to find the zone. Here's the 3-0. That'll be a 4-pitch walk to Charlotte Steffen. It's just the third base runner of the day for the Falcons. The only hit was the solo home run by Taylor Mitchell back in the third. So that'll bring up Emma Hand. Hand hits a little nubber to the first baseman, Scott. She will not get there in time, so Emma Hand will have an infield single. So here is Lauren Shaver. Shaver was the first base runner for the Falcons as she was walked back in the second inning after Holmes retired 9 in a row. So the Falcons now have 2 hits on the home run and the infield single. Here's the 1-0 from Haley Holmes. Grounder to down the third base line. That'll go foul. Ball and a strike on Lauren Shaver. Only 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. Here's the 1-1 from Holmes. Shaver takes the ball outside. Count is 2-1. A double play would be nice for the Bulldogs to end this inning quickly. Here's the pitch. In the air to left, that'll go foul. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Lauren Shaver. Here's the 2-2 from Holmes. Swing and a foul. It's been a good at-bat for Lauren Shaver. Kendra Clune is on deck. One out here in the top of the 4th. Here's the 2-2 from Holmes. That's high fly ball to left. That'll be caught by Fry for out number 2. As both runners will hold at second and first. Stefan at second, Hand at first. Stefan was walked in advance to second on the infield single by Emma Hand. So here is Kendra Clune. Clune will swing and miss on the first pitch she sees from Holmes. That's strike 1. 2 outs now in the top of the 4th. Stefan at second, Hand at first. Here's the 0-1 from Holmes. That's way high and outside. Count is even at a ball and a strike on Kendra Clune. If Clune shall reach, Taylor Mitchell, who hit a home run in the 3rd, waits her turn on deck. Here's the 1-1. That is low, ball 2. Two balls and a strike on Kendra Clune. Here's the pitch from Holmes. Ground ball foul. Two balls and 2 strikes on Clune. 2 outs. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Holmes. Foul ball, look out. So that one ended up into the bleachers. Count is still 2-2 on Clune. With 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Here's the pitch from Holmes. Swing and a miss. Struck her out. Holmes leaves 2 runners stranded at first and second. As we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, Bulldogs still have a 4-1 lead. From ACTV, I am Forrest Vernier.
Bulldog fans, welcome to the home of Adrian College Athletics. Brought to you by Adrian College Television. Follow us on social media to be connected to the latest broadcasts, news, highlights, and more. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. ACTV's social media handle is at Adrian College TV on all platforms. Thank you to all of our fans who tune in to support us at ACTV.
Bulldogs have a 4-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Rachel Ebert, who has struck out 4 today, will get back to work on the mound. Ebert getting some practice throws in. But she'll face Brianna Scott, Taylor Campbell, and Elizabeth Grady. Scott struck out back in the second. So this is Scott's 60th at-bat of this year. As the first pitch Scott sees from Ebert, she hits a slow roller toward third, as that'll be just foul, as Shaver was ready to make a play on it. As you could see the smile on her face. As she must be thinking, man, I was ready for that one, but it just went foul. But that shows just why great defense is very important when it comes to softball and baseball. Count is now 1-1 on Brianna Scott. Campbell waits her turn on deck. Here's the pitch from Ebert. Way high and outside as Hake almost had to jump for that one to make the grab. So 2 balls and a strike on Scott. Here's the pitch from Ebert. Swinging a high fly ball into right. That'll drop for a fair ball. Scott is on her way to second, and she'll try going for 3. Here's the throw. She slides. She is safe. Brianna Scott has her first hit of this game as she hits a leadoff triple. As Streeter in right field kept going to try to get it, but it landed right in front of her. It was pretty close, but it was just in fair territory. So here is Campbell. Campbell struck out in her first at-bat. She's in foul territory, and that'll be caught by Shaver for out number 1. So Campbell is 0 for 2 today as she pops out to third for out number 1 here in the 4th. So here's Elizabeth Grady, who has popped out, and she reached on a defensive error. As a single will bring Scott home. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Grady hits it to short. Hand will pick it up and throw to first, and Sufka drops the ball. And for the second time of this game, Grady will reach first on an error. So that'll bring up Kylie McClanahan. McClanahan hit a double in the first inning and reached first on a fielder's choice. As she'll be taking her third at-bat of this game. So Brianna Scott, who had a triple, she is at third base. As she has a quick conversation with head coach Caitlin Probleski. She offers words of advice as she's reminding her, since there's only 1 out, to only try to advance when the ball on a grounder. Here's the pitch. That is bunted, and it'll be caught by Ebert. And the throw back to first, and they'll get Grady out on a double play. And just like that, the 4th inning is over. The Bulldogs still have a 4-1 lead. They threaten but do not score. From ACTV, we'll be right back after these messages.
Adrian College is a private liberal arts institution known for its diverse academic programs, strong emphasis on experiential learning, vibrant campus life, and commitment to fostering a supportive community. Want to visit Adrian College for yourself? Visit our website at adrian.edu/campus visit.
Top of the 5th inning now here in Game 1 as we are just about into an hour of this broadcast on ACTV, but this has been quite a decent game here. Adrian College softball field. The Bulldogs scored 4 runs in the bottom of the first inning on the 3 RBI triple hit by Greer Simpson, as then she scored on the RBI single by Caitlin Fry. The only run for the Falcons was a solo home run hit by the woman who will lead things off here in the top of the 5th inning, Taylor Mitchell. And Holmes will try to hold the Falcons for just a few more innings. So the goal for the Bulldogs, pitching and for defense, will be to get out of every inning as quick as they can. So here is Taylor Mitchell, who hit a home run to right center field. This is only her second at bat here in game 1. Here's the first pitch from Holmes here in the top of the 5th inning, as that's in the air to right center field, as that'll get down for a hit. Mitchell is 2 for 2 today, as she will go to second. She'll make it there standing up on a leadoff double. So that's Mitchell's second hit of this game. So that'll bring up Caitlin Streeter. Streeter grounded out back in the 3rd. So she's 0 for 1. First pitch to her is low and outside. So Mitchell is at second. Nobody out just yet here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Falcons looking to rally here against Holmes. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Count is even at a ball and a strike on Caitlin Streeter. Here's the 1-1. And that's going to get away from McClanahan, and going to third and making it there is Taylor Mitchell. So now a single will bring Mitchell home. Streeter just needs to hit it well, make good contact, and get it out of the infield. Here's the 2-1 from Holmes. Streeter takes ball 3. But Holmes is a pitch away from putting runners at the corners with nobody out. Here's a 3-1. That's strike 2. Streeter hits it foul and out of play, as Holmes catches up with the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Caitlin Streeter. Here's the 3-2 pitch. On the ground, that'll be picked up by Simpson. She'll throw to first, and Streeter will be out. Taylor Mitchell holds at third. So Streeter is 0 for 2. That's the second time she has grounded out. One out here in the top of the 5th inning. So here's Ebert, who shows bunt. It'll go foul. Ebert is 0 for 2 today. She has struck out twice to Haley Holmes. And Holmes has struck out 3. And 1 to Ebert. Showing bunt again. This time it'll stay fair, and Holmes will throw to the plate as Mitchell is safe. That'll be an infield RBI single for Rachel Ebert. She has her first hit and RBI of this game, as the lead is cut in half now. So here's Kara Hake. Hake is 0 for 2. She has popped out and flied out, as she'll try to pick up Ebert from first as she shows bunt. That'll go foul. So the Bulldogs lead 4-2. Count 0-1 on Hake. Here's the pitch from Holmes, showing bunt again. But that's high and outside the strike zone for ball 1. Home plate umpire confirms the count. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. Here's the pitch. That's strike 2. As Hake swung. Foul tipped it a little. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That is ball 2. As Holmes missed the high outside corner. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Hake. On the ground to third. That'll go foul right past Simpson. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes on Kara Hake. Kendall Sufka waits her turn on deck. She will be next. Still only 1 out. Runner at first for the Falcons. Here's the 2-2 from Holmes. Swung on and hit foul and out of play. This has been a good at-bat for Kara Hake. Again, the 2-2 from Holmes. That's a high pop fly into shallow right. And that'll land right by Campbell. As they'll throw to second as now Ebert will try to advance to third. And she is going to be safe. And down to second goes Hake. And so the Falcons now have a big advantage here with runners, both of them in scoring position. As Ebert is at third, Hake is at second. Still only 1 out. As Hake would represent the tying run at second base. As the go-ahead run for the Falcons is up to bat. And Kendall Sufka is it. Sufka is 0 for 2. She has grounded out and popped out. And Sufka will try to help tie this game up as she takes the ball low and inside from Haley Holmes. Still only 1 out here in the 4th. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on Kendall Sufka. Runners at third and second. Here's the 2-0. Ball 3. And Holmes is a pitch away from putting the go-ahead run aboard and loading the bases with only 1 out. Here's the 3-0 from Holmes. That is in there for a called strike. Again, the 3-1 from Holmes. That's a high pop fly to the right side. That'll be caught by Brianna Scott for out number 2. As you can see her checking both of the runners to make sure they stay at third and second. So now we have 2 outs as Sufka pops to first. So here's Charlotte Steffen. She takes a strike on the outside corner from Holmes. Steffen has flied out and walked. Here's the 0-1 from Holmes. That's going to get away from McClanahan. Here comes Ebert, and she'll score. It's a 1-run game now as Ebert scores home on a wild pitch. So now a single will tie this game. As Kara Hake is at third. Here's the pitch. In there for strike 2. So Holmes has given up 2 runs here in the top of the 5th. But now she's a pitch away from ending this inning. Here's the 1-2 to Steffen. High pop fly to the right side. That'll be caught by Taylor Campbell as she holds on to it. So Holmes gives up 2 runs, but the Bulldogs now have a 1-run lead on the bunt RBI single by Rachel Ebert, and Ebert scored on the wild pitch. It is now 4-3 Bulldogs as we're going to the 5th inning. We'll be right back after these messages.
This is the Arrington Bookstore at Adrian College, the place to get game day ready, represent your clubs and organizations, and be Bulldog proud. With a wide selection of merchandise and a smile at every visit, stop by inside the Kane Student Center to pick up your Adrian College wares and make it another great day to be a Bulldog.
"4-3 Bulldogs" as the Falcons scored 2 in the top of the 5th inning on the RBI bunt single hit by Rachel Ebert, and Ebert also scored on the wild pitch by Holmes. So now Ebert will get back to work on the mound for the Falcons. She has struck out 4 and given up 4 runs. So coming up to bat for the Bulldogs will be Courtney Robertson. Robertson has walked and had a single. She'll take her 3rd at-bat here in Game 1 against Rachel Ebert. So the Bulldogs have a 1-run lead, 4-3. As it is like I've said before, it has been a cold morning here at the Adrian College softball field, as my director, Mason Foote, agrees with me. It is 4-3. It's Ebert taking a few warm-up throws. And so Rachel Ebert will face Courtney Robertson, Michelle Huffman, and Greer Simpson. So all 3 of them will get a chance to bat here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. So Robertson has been on base twice, a walk and a single. Robertson has a .349 batting average. So the single she had has been her 16th hit of the season. Robertson hits it foul and out of play. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. A ball and a strike on Robertson. Nobody on just yet for the Bulldogs. Here's the pitch from Ebert. That's high and inside for ball 2. Michelle Huffman waits her turn on deck. Check swing. Did she go? No, she did not. Count is 3 balls and a strike on Robertson. Here's the 3-1. That is ball 4. Second time Robertson has been on base with a walk. The 3rd time she's been on base in this Game 1. So Robertson has walked twice and has a single. So here is Michelle Huffman. Huffman is 1 for 2. She's had a single and flied out. Earlier in the 1st inning, she scored on the 3 RBI triple hit by Greer Simpson. Here's the pitch. That is ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is in there, and the count is even at a ball and a strike on Huffman. Nobody out. Runner at first for the Bulldogs. That's going to get away from Hake And going to second is Robertson. She'll make it there standing up. She is now in scoring position. As Huffman is going to have to try to at least get the ball out of the infield. Here's the pitch. Way outside. 3 balls and a strike. Greer Simpson waits her turn on deck. Courtney Robertson is at second, the 3-1. As ball 4. Second time Huffman's been on base. So that is a walk. Well, here's Greer Simpson, who had the 3 RBI triple in the bottom of the first inning, and she also scored on the RBI single by Caitlin Fry. Simpson flied out in her last at-bat. So this is now her 3rd appearance here in Game 1. First pitch she'll see from Ebert of this bottom half of the 5th inning will be strike 1. Simpson will at least try to pick up Robertson from second. That is right back to the mound. Ebert will make the throw to first for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. So Simpson is 1 for 3 today. She grounds out to the pitcher. So here's Caitlin Fry. Fry had an RBI single in the bottom of the first inning. She'll bat with both runners in scoring position with only 1 out. Here's the first pitch to Fry. That is high and outside from Ebert. So Robertson is at third. Huffman is at second. Here's the pitch. That is ball 2 from Rachel Ebert. As 3-0. Haley Holmes waits her turn on deck. Here's the 3-0 showing bunt. That is ball 4. So Fry will be on base for the second time today. And we're getting a pinch hitter for the Bulldogs. So it will not be Haley Holmes batting. It'll be Sarah Kozel. First pitch to Kozel. That is ball 1. Kozel is a freshman from Warren, Michigan. She comes in with a .264 batting average. She has 14 hits. That is in there for a strike. Kozel has 4 doubles, a triple, and a home run, and 11 RBIs. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's in the air to left field. Going back is Clune at the wall, but she'll make the catch. Tagging home and coming in to score is Courtney Robertson. As we're not quite sure what's going on here. Bulldogs will at least get a run, but it was caught by Clune and left. So that's going to be 3 RBIs for Kozel. So here's Brianna Scott, who struck out and had a triple. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Here's the 0-1. That's outside. Ball and a strike on Brianna Scott. So the Bulldogs have a 6-3 lead. That's outside. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that's going to get away from Hake. And coming in to score is Caitlin Fry. It is 7-3 Bulldogs. So earlier, Cosell had 2 RBIs when she flied out. As that scored in Robertson and Huffman. Here's the pitch. On the ground is short. Hand will pick it up, make a long throw. It'll be not in time. As Brianna Scott has an infield single. Her second hit here in game 1. So here's Taylor Campbell. Campbell is 0 for 2 today, has struck out and popped out. She takes her third at bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. 0-1 on Taylor Campbell. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Ground ball to third. Shaver picks it up. Makes a throw to first. Caught by Sufka. But that'll end the inning. But the Bulldogs extend their lead as we go to the 6th inning. They lead 7-3 here at the Adrian College softball field. Mason Foote and Forrest Vernier will be right back after these messages.
Elevate your game? At Adrian College, our athletes strive for excellence on and off the field. Get involved in over 50 student clubs and organizations where your passions meet purpose. With innovative programs and personalized learning, our academics are designed to ignite your future. Experience vibrant student life, where community and connection shape your college journey. Adrian College, where you belong. Apply today and become part of the Bulldog family.
7-3 Bulldogs as we go to the top half of the 6th inning. As Cosell had 2 RBIs. And also, number 8, Caitlin Fry, scored on a wild pitch. So, taking over for the Bulldogs, it's going to be Elizabeth Grady. She'll be taking over for Haley Holmes on the mound. Sarah Cosell will be taking over for Elizabeth Grady at shortstop. So the Bulldogs have the lead. A pretty good lead as we're going to the 6th inning here in game 1 of this triple header series at the Adrian College softball field. And so Grady will make her first pitching appearance of this series. First pitch to Emma Hand. She swings and hits it foul and out of play. Hand has flied out and had a single. Here's the pitch from Grady. That is ball 1. The pitch from Grady. On the ground is short. Cosell will have a play on this one. The throw is in time for the out. Hand grounds out to Cosell to start the top of the 6th inning. As Hand is 1 for 3 of this game 1. So here's Lauren Shaver. Shaver has walked and flied out as she'll face Grady. That's ball 1. Got away from McClanahan, but she won't have to worry about it too much as the bases are empty. Here's the pitch from Grady. Swung on and missed. That is a strike. Here's the pitch from Grady. Swinging a fly ball to left. That'll go foul and out of play. 2 strikes on Lauren Shaver. As apparently the scoreboard out in left field has gone blank. As the home plate umpire shows the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Shaver goes down swinging on a 1-2 pitch for out number 2. Here in the top of the 6th inning. So here's Kendra Clune. As she'll take her at bat here in the 6th. Here's the pitch from Grady. That's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on Kendra Clune. Clune has grounded out and struck out to Holmes. In there. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's hit in the air to center field. Huffman will make the catch. So that'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Elizabeth Grady as we go to the 6th inning. Bulldogs clinging on to a 7-3 lead. As we'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome to Adrian College, where we believe in educating both the heart and the mind. With over 100 innovative academic programs and 10 cutting-edge institutes, you'll find a path that's right for you. Join our vibrant community of over 50 athletic teams and discover why we're recognized as a U.S. News & World Report Most Innovative Institution. Adrian College, where passion meets purpose. Your future starts here.
7-3 Bulldogs as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Rachel Ebert is still on the mound for the Bowling Green Falcons. For those of you watching at home, we would like to remind you to stay connected with all the action by following at Adrian College TV on social media. From game highlights to campus events, we've got you covered. Don't miss a moment. Follow at Adrian College TV today. You can follow us on Instagram, X, Facebook, and TikTok. And if you're watching our stream on YouTube, you can click on the red button, the one that says subscribe, and tap the bell so that way you'll be notified whenever our stream is about to start. So Elizabeth Grady, who pitched a 1-2-3 top half of the 6th inning, she'll take her at bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning against Rachel Ebert. First pitch to Grady. That is ball 1. Count is 1-0 on Elizabeth Grady. Grady has popped out and reached on an error twice. Count is 2-0 on Grady. Here's the 2-0 from Ebert. Way outside. 3 balls and no strikes on Grady. So we're back at the top of the lineup now for the Adrian College Bulldogs. Here's the pitch. That's ball 4. As Grady will make her way to first. That's the 3rd time she's been on base in this game. So Kylie McClanahan. She has hit a double. She reached on a fielder's choice. And she tried a bunt. But it was caught by the pitcher, Ebert, and they threw back to first to get the double play. As she hits a fly ball into left, going back is Clune, and she makes the catch. For out number 1, going back to first and staying there is Grady. As that was well hit by McClanahan. But just not far enough as Clune came in where she needed to make the play. So here's Courtney Robertson. Robertson hits one to left field as Clune will not get there. Grady will round second. She is on her way to third as she'll make it there sliding. Going to second is Courtney Robertson. as she has a double. That's the 4th time Robertson has been on base. That is her 2nd hit, as she has now had a single and a double. Because remember, she's also walked twice. That'll bring up Michelle Huffman. Huffman has been on base twice with a single and a walk. And she's also flied out. She'll bat with runners at 3rd and 2nd. First pitch to Huffman. She hits it foul and out of play. So Grady is at 3rd. Robertson is at 2nd. The 1 out here in the 6th inning. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. And that's a base hit to left center field. Grady will score easily. Here comes Courtney Robertson rounding 3rd. And she's going to score. As the Bulldogs have a 9-3 lead. Michelle Huffman with a 2 RBI double. So here is Greer Simpson. Simpson is 1 for 3 today. She had a 3 RBI triple in the 1st inning, but she has flied out and grounded out, but she'll bat with 1 out with Huffman at 2nd base. This has been a really good first game offensively for the Bulldogs. First pitch to Simpson. Greer Simpson takes a strike from Ebert. Here's the pitch. That's low and in the dirt for ball 1. A ball and a strike on Simpson. With 1 out here in the 6th. Here's the pitch. That is ball 2. Michelle Huffman is taking a good lead from 2nd. With the Falcon infielders, you can see Hand and Shaver working together, making sure she doesn't go too far. Here's the 2-1. That's in the air to center. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Michelle Huffman will go to 3rd, and she'll stay there. So Adrian has runners at the corners with 1 out. Now here's Caitlin Fry. So Simpson has her 2nd hit of this game. And so Simpson has had her 17th and 18th hit of the season. Both of them in this game 1. So here is Caitlin Fry. Caitlin Fry is showing bunt. And Simpson is going to 2nd, and she will be... Did they get her? Yes, she did. As Simpson tries to steal, but is thrown out at 2nd by Kara Hake. So that'll be a ball and no strikes on Caitlin Fry. Fry has been on base twice, a walk and an RBI single. She hits it in the air to right, and that will land foul. Michelle Huffman still at 3rd base with 2 outs. Bulldogs have a 9-3 lead here in Game 1 of this triple-header series against the Falcons. As Game 2 will be next. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fry takes the ball low and inside from Ebert. Ebert has 4 strikeouts of this game. Here's a 2-1. Good block there by Kara Hake at the plate. Count is now 3-1 on Caitlin Fry. Cassell waits her turn on deck. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That is right back to the mound as Ebert had to make a decision but decided to throw to first base to get Fry out. That'll be the end of the bottom of the 6th inning. The Bulldogs get 2 more runs on the 2 RBI double by Michelle Huffman, as now we go to the 7th inning here in Game 1 at the Adrian College softball field.
To become a future Bulldog and get recruited by Adrian College? Do you display characteristics of tenacity, drive, and determination? With over 50 teams on campus, there are plenty of opportunities to further both your athletic and academic career. For all recruiting inquiries, head to www.adrianbulldogs.com and click on the Recruit Me tab at the top right of your screen. Your future with the Bulldogs is closer than ever.
Elizabeth Grady will try to close out Game 1. This will be the last chance for the Falcons. But Game 2 will be coming up soon. The Bulldogs will have to just get 3 quick outs here. So coming up to bat for the Falcons will be number 9, Taylor Mitchell. Mitchell is 2 for 2 today. She has had a home run and a double. As she'll start things off here in the top half of the 7th inning. As Grady will get back to work on the mound. First pitch to Mitchell, right back to mound. Grady bobbles it, throws to first, and they'll get her there. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 7th inning. Bulldogs have a 9-3 lead, trying to finish off this first game of a triple header series. So now it's Caitlin Streeter, and that's going to be a base hit to right center field. So Streeter, after going 0 for 2, after grounding out twice, will have her first hit of this series. So we're back at the top of the lineup for the Falcons. Rachel Ebert. Ebert has 1 for 3. She's struck out twice, but had an RBI single. One out here in the 7th inning. Grady trying to close it out here. That is ball 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Check swing. Hit in the air to right. That'll drop in for a base hit. Going to second is Caitlin Streeter. As the Falcons are starting to get something going here. So now the batter will be Kara Hake. As she hits it in the air to right, it'll go foul and out of play. So the Falcons will have runners at first and second with 1 out. So Kara Hake has popped out, flied out, and had a single. So this is the 4th time that she's batted here in Game 1. Here's the pitch. That is ball 1. Low and inside from Elizabeth Grady. Here's the 1-1. That is ball 2. Here's the 2-1 from Grady. On the ground to third. It'll get by Simpson and Cosell. Rounding third and coming in to score will be Caitlin Streeter. Going to third is Rachel Ebert, as Kara Hake has an RBI double. That's the 4th run here in Game 1 for the Falcons. That's an RBI double for Kara Hake. So here's Kendall Sufka. Sufka is 0 for 3, grounded out and popped out twice. Takes the ball low from Grady. So Grady has given up her first run here in game 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Here's a fly ball into right center field. Going back is Robertson. It's gone, a home run. A 3-run home run by Kendall Sufka. As the Bulldogs have a 2-run lead. As the Falcons rally continues with just 1 out on a 3-run home run hit by Kendall Sufka. And so Sufka, after going 0 for 3, hits an opposite field home run. And the bases are empty now. So here's Charlotte Steffen. And so Grady, she'll try to get just 2 quick outs here. This has been quite a rally here for the Falcons here in the 7th. And that's a little blooper towards short. Cassell will throw to first, and the runner is safe. That'll bring the tying run aboard to the plate here in game 1. It'll be Emma Hand. Hand has flied out, hit a single, and a ground out. First pitch she'll see from Grady. That's low and inside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 from Grady. Hand hits one to left. It'll go to the left side. It'll go foul and out of play. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike on Emma Hand. Emma Hand is a sophomore from Oak Harbor, Ohio. As she hits it in the air to right, that's going to be caught by Courtney Robertson for out number 2. And the Bulldogs are an out away from taking game 1 of this triple-header series. So the tying run will remain at the plate. Here is Lauren Shaver. Shaver's been on base once with a walk, but she has flied out and struck out. First pitch is ball 1. 2 outs here in the 7th. Here's the 1-0 from Grady. That is ball 2. 2-0 on Lauren Shaver. A runner at first. Here's the pitch. In there on the outside corner for a called strike. 9-7 Bulldogs here in game 1. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Lauren Shaver. Grady a strike away from ending game 1. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. She got her on strikes. Elizabeth Grady ends the 7th inning, and that's going to do it for game 1 of this triple-header series as the Bulldogs take the win 9-7. It was back and forth on the offense. There was quite a rally from the Falcons on the 3-run home run by Kendall Sufka. But the Bulldogs hang on with a 2-run victory. Final score here in Game 1, Bulldogs 9, Falcons 7. Stay tuned for Game 2 of this triple-header series of Adrian College Club Softball from Mason Foote and Forrest Vernier. Stick around for Game 2 coming up next on Adrian College Television.